Good morning. Hang on. Hold up. Whoa, something's
Hold up.
wrong. It's just me. That's not good. I don't like that. It's just Langdon. Uh-oh. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the first show of the day here on OpenShift TV, where we are rusty. My name's Chris Short. I'm the executive producer of OpenShift TV. I'm the host of a lot of shows here, but today's big host is the one and only Langdon White with the Level Up Hour. Langdon, please introduce yourself for folks that don't know you or joining in for the first time.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's been that sort of morning. My coffee pot was not complete when I started wanting to drink it, which, is always a challenge. We're here with the Level Up Hour, where we talk about why containers are cool and why you might want to use them. And then eventually, most people discover that orchestration becomes important when you're doing them. So we'll also be talking about orchestration. But today, we're going to talk
What
about...
is today's topic, sir?
So we're going to continue with the Nextcloud thing, but what I worked out was using systemd inside a container. So we'll kind of
you did
start
that?
with that. I did, and it's
Jesus.
way easier than I thought, because
really?
this is the problem with doing anything for a long period of time is things change, and you just remember the old way of doing it, and the old way was hard. And the new way has gotten much better. So
okay.
we will talk about new way, which will be way less painful for everyone. But yeah, so that's what we got. Should we throw up the slides, or should we?
I'm on the show for a ride here, right? Like you just told me systemd in a container, and my mind's just slightly off kilter. So
right.
Yeah, like let's see. Announcements? Not that I know of. Do we have any big announcements?
No, not really.
Okay.
We just tend to
Did I
talk
forget
about
one?
upcoming conferences or things like that.
So we are doing some special stuff here on the channel for Kubecon this year. Kubecon NA is the 17th through the 20th of November. So next month, literally less than a month away. I can't believe it's been a year since I got this last year in San Diego.
Yeah.
We're here, folks. It's we're gonna do some fun stuff, and just stay tuned. Keep an eye on the channel for updates and such. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's I'll share those slides because they're so awesome and everybody likes seeing them in the morning. And I'll drag the Delio, which apparently is not going to move today. Nope, it's not going down there. All right, so in case you were lost, this is the Level Up Hour, and we explained a little bit about what we talk about, but you can find us on Twitter at Langdon and Chris Short. And please join our Discord and take part in the chat. We can do that. You can chat on Twitch. You can ask us questions on Twitch, but you can also, if you're watching from YouTube or you're watching from Periscope or any of those others, anything that you say will actually be broadcast into all the chats, but as well as Discord. So if you prefer Discord, feel free to chat there. And that's about my story, because we can't talk about the points yet.
Not yet. You can't get into the sweet internet points yet.
Right. So sometimes the bane of my existence here, we're going to start using Tmux. So let's see. Gotta figure out where I am.
I feel like it could just be my eyes, the fact that I have lights on or something, but that, like, your text is too light.
I changed stuff because I got a new laptop. And
that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Preferences are less well supported for like transference. Let's see. We could go.
JP Date asked if Amazon owns Twitch, and that is true. Yes, Amazon does own Twitch, which is why you don't have a. Yes, it does. Which is why the AWS account is so popular, and Google has no presence here on Twitch. So yeah,
interesting. The Microsoft one is also pretty popular.
It's very good. Yeah, it's a very good channel. Yeah,
I like the GitHub open source hour or whatever it is they do. It's like every Friday. But is that a little better? Is that a little more legible?
A little bit, yeah.
I can go a little darker too.
Yeah, like why not just go black on white like a normal person?
I could, I suppose.
I mean, why do you have to be fancy?
We like to be different.
Why you gotta be so fancy?
It looks exactly the same. Did that actually take?
It does kind of look exactly the same. What did you change it?
I said black and white. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that
All
doesn't
right.
look very white,
It's-
but it says it is.
It is. Okay.
Everybody loves the Fs. Oops.
Hmm.
All right. Well, so there it is. If anybody can't read it, let us know in the Twitch
Yeah.
channel, and I'll
If
up
it's
the
not
font.
legible, let me know. I'll tell them to fix it.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So systemd in a container. So in the I knew I forgot a page. Last week's show notes, and what I wanted to mention, what made me think of it, is in this week's show notes, I will definitely put a link to a good blog post I found about this. But for last week, you can find the show notes here. I tend to write up what I think we discussed, and what bits I thought were funny. I tend to pull out as highlights, and some episodes we are funnier than others. I am sad to say, but
I find that hard to believe.
right, I agree with you. So, but I only pull out highlights from some of the things. So the other thing I'll mention is we do the sweet internet points, and if you go back and watch other episodes, you can get the points for those episodes. So definitely consider doing that, so you can knock out the leaders, and make them have to make sure they keep coming to the show.
Yeah. Apex tier on Twitch just said, I'm sitting here waiting for W get to compile LAMO or LMAO. Yeah. Wow. You're in a fun place, Apex tier.
Right.
That's cool. Please share more. I'm curious. But anyways, let's
And as we'll say
on.
in the chat, curl -L-O is your friend.
Yes, that is the best.
Yeah.
Because libcurl is pretty much everywhere now.
Right. So unless you're doing website scraping, then wget still does a really nice job. But not many people are offlining websites anymore.
No.
No. So let's see. Figure out where we are. Okay. So S1E12. Cool. All right. So let's just call this. And okay, so what I discovered that was really, really interesting for me is that systemd is enabled in Podman containers basically by default. And if I can find my notes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. So
okay, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I've got too many questions. You need to explain this.
Okay, so basically, so there is a way. So if you say, let's just do something dumb, so we do podman run it, let's do rm just so we don't make a mess. Actually, whatever, we can do this. How about bash, not shell? So that's just starting a container, and so now it's going to go away. And then if we take a look let's look at the Red Hat container catalog, which we've all talked about before. Load. All right. Then let's say we do HTTPD, and this was a nice little demo. We'll use the rel 8 one.
I'm far more curious on how the duck hunt gun worked.
Exactly.
Whatever we're about to talk about.
What's funny is that's been popping up on my default Firefox page for a few days now. I've actually already read that article, which I was like, I'm not sure if I'm disappointed in myself, but I thought that was pretty funny. So let's just change this, and hopefully that'll just work without having to do the full path. Oh, I have to log in. So let's say podman login here, and my secret username and password, which I will try to type into the Twitch channel at some point, I'm sure. Let's see if that works. Still didn't like me. Okay, I think we need the full path, so I'm going to try to copy paste it. Oh no, I'm a little confused about the difference between registry.redhat.io and registry.access.redhat.com. I don't know. Do you know what the difference is between those?
So one is password protected, one is not, I think.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's try
one
that.
You have to have your developer's account for, the other you don't. Don't ask me which one is which. I think it's the access one you have to have the developer's account for. I forget. Yeah. I'm sure JJ or JP Dade knows. Like,
Oh, is he?
he's in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm sure he knows the which one has what attached to it as far as like login versus not login.
All right, so I did something kind of dumb there, right? I just said pull it and run it, but what we really need is some ports. So if we say P, let's do 9080 for 80. And I don't actually, I think I need a space. Now, in theory, that port should be there. But I forgot the trick for breaking out of the container without stopping it. So we'll just do this the cheesy way.
Open a new tab.
And just run it in the background.
Run it as Damon. Okay.
Yeah. So now I'll check anyway, but in theory, there should be something running. This is sad.
Has it been up and running for 2 weeks?
No, these are other containers.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why is it wrapping like that? Is it because the container name's so long?
No, it's just the font size. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we don't need these anyway. So for the sake of making things easier to read.
Thank you.
7.2. Oh, actually, let's do PS Pod.
What do you have running?
RF. Where is Tools Pod?
So JP Dade said he went to All Things Open, which was this week, or still is this week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to.
I always want to go to All Things Open. I think last year was the first time I didn't go because of my travel schedule was so hectic prior. So I was like, I'm just going to pause. Like I didn't get a talk accepted. There's no reason for me to go back down to Raleigh. Little did I know I should have gone because it would have been like my last trip to Raleigh in a while.
Right.
Anyways, yeah.
My memory is apparently failing me today. All right, so that should have evicted those. Let's see. You said it was just -8 now. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. All right. So why I thought? Oh, well, maybe it's because of the bin bash.
There you go.
There we go. Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can see it's pointing 9080 at 80. My guess is I will need to do a firewall mod, which would be sudo firewall. And apparently I'm not going to get command line completion. All right, so now the firewall should be open. Toss up on SE Linux, but let's see what happens. So now if we curl -L -O, yes. And we say localhost 9080. Yeah, I know. I should have done -O. Connection reset by peer. What?
Did you do HTTPS, HTTP? Does that matter?
No, it's. Oh, I might need HTTP. I think curl doesn't assume.
Like you do.
Nope, didn't like that either.
Unless it's secure, which would be.
Yeah, really weird.
Do a -I, which just gives you the headers. Capital I, sorry. Oh yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's definitely broken.
Pardon my language.
That's your out loud voice.
That's my out loud voice. My bad.
Well, let's debug it anyway because it's good for figuring it out. So we're gonna say 319, and then IT, and then I think I can just throw bin bash here. Oh, that's probably not going to work. Oh, it did. Happy. So it is running.
Okay.
And oops. My bet, I wouldn't be surprised if this was SE Linux. There's nothing in HTML directory. That should be fine because we should be getting the default Apache page.
Oh, crash loop back off me says curl-k.
Oh, like ignore. That's ignore.
Is that ignore shirts and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like more like it's not listening. So
is this
here's
the
another
restore
trick.
con thing command that Christian puts in his notes all the time?
Oh, actually, it could be. So
Yeah.
that was one thing I was going to mention that, well, it could be something else or slightly related.
Right.
So whenever you're using something that relies on system D in a container, which I wasn't really meaning to get here yet because I wasn't really thinking it all the way through, apparently, you need to, at one time on this machine, have to have run this SE bool, or like set this SE Linux Boolean, which is container managed C group, true. So basically what that means is that the container itself can manage some aspects of the C group it's in, or is it, I guess you'd call it C groups it's in, I suppose. And so as a result, it even says in the blog post article, it even says, you will forget to do this. I forgot to do this while writing this article. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I guess I was kind of going to get to there, but I was thinking we'd be able to show this part first. My suspicion is we will need to kill that container first. 319. And let's try running again.
I feel like my computer is about to like do something very bad.
Like take off in flight.
Yeah.
The fans.
Yeah. Let me open System Monitor, see what's going on here. If I'm stuttering or something, that's why, folks. Sorry.
That's apparently not the problem.
Ooh, you get out of here. You are not needed, sir.
Well, this is annoying. I really thought this was going to work very flawlessly.
You've never live streamed before, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. After all that discussion, I don't think we have Netstat installed.
Oh, good. Use SS.
All right.
SS-A, I think. Yeah.
Like that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Ooh, that's got a nice wrap.
Yeah. No, like do a find for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Or grep or whatever. Yeah. So it's not running.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have punched through.
Let me. There's a better SS flag I got to look up. SS-NLP.
-NLP.
Oh my god. Okay, that's fine.
So it's supposedly listening.
Okay, good.
On TCP. So why is it doing that? That's annoying. Because it kind of blocks us from getting anywhere useful. So we know it's there. It's pointed at port 80. Oh, maybe let's see what it does if we run it with just a capital P. I wonder if I got the ports wrong. Like maybe by default it goes up on 80 or sorry, 8080.
Probably, maybe. Yeah, like you're not forwarding, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And that is it. In fact, there's 8080 and 8443, which honestly, being a Red Hat ship thing, it's just a trick for SSL. But it, honestly, coming from Red Hat, I'm actually a little surprised because we almost always ship everything kind of production ready, and you usually have to do machinations to make it not production. So like I said, I'm a little surprised. So we will just try with curl versus whatever application I was trying to write. Let's see, localhost. Nope. : 46223. And look at that. Yay.
Okay. You just got to know what ports everything's listening on, folks.
Right. And that seems obvious, right? But so we don't know. I guess we could try. Let's just to say, for the sake of argument, podman rm-f 167 713. And then let's flip that Boolean to false and try it again now that we know how to do it properly.
Okay.
And then see if it still works, just because I'm curious. And I like pain,
curiosity
apparently.
did something to a cat once, I hear.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna run it with minus cat p again. Oh, not ps. Podman ps. Now it's running on port 33543.
Okay.
So curl.
That's safe.
And as you can see, it is actually running SSL as well.
So why are you HTTPing to it?
Because SSL is not going to look very pretty in curl.
Oh.
Well, I guess it might. We could just do a minus
fine.
K. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try it. What was the port though? 39373. You seem to be a big fan of the SSL.
I am a huge fan of the encryption.
Yay, encryption.
So.
And it still works. Look at that.
Yeah, it's amazing, huh?
Although there's no real way to verify that it's SSL coming back, right?
Well, if you did the -K, you're going to ignore it, right? Like if you just did regular -curl, it would be like, hey, the certificate's not valid. Yeah.
See? Self-signed cert, no good.
Yep.
And theoretically, we could do it with the headers too. Oh boy.
Yeah, if you wanted to pick up the headers, you could be like, hey, where's the key coming from? All that fun stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, long story short. So interestingly, I did flip the Boolean the right way, right? Yeah. Okay. So interestingly, it didn't seem to have a negative effect. I maybe before the next episode, I'll spin up a new machine and see which way that flag is flipped beforehand, because I wonder if it could be that it's now being flipped
system boot
by default now.
Yeah.
I don't know what its ramifications are from a security perspective, except for this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any security issue.
Right.
Setting it to false.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So let me just. So I'm going to flip it to true for now, because per Dan Walsh, I know it is required. So we'll just set it that way and kind of leave it for now.
So saith Dan Walsh.
Exactly. So Podman, let's just look at the logs, because I'm hoping there will be something useful there. Let's do it this way. Everyone's favorite ignored message of all time. What I was hoping to see. So basically what we're seeing here is journal D output, I think. But the point being is that, this is being launched via system D. And kind of as further proof, we could take a look at the container file, and we should see, when I saw it before, it was like embedded in another line, so it's a little hard to find. Oh yeah, here. Oh no, that's the module. Oh, by the way, if we're kind of throwing back to app streams, they're using an app stream right here.
Yes. And
but where is like system control enable, which is what I'm really looking for? Unless it comes, HTTPD might come that way by default.
If you install it, no, it doesn't enable itself by default.
Yeah, that would be weird, right?
Right. Like, what are they doing in the flags there? In the install packages flags?
Oh, you think it might be there?
And maybe, who knows? If they're running like some script, no.
Nope, not there. It could be in the S2I script or something. But so somewhere in here, this is, or I believe it is setting it as system D. So what if we try actually logging in? We should, how could we look at this? PS minus AF grep 1. So it's actually running HTTPD as PID 1. That's probably not going to be very specific. Huh. This is being less cool than I expected it to be. But long story short, you can run systemd in a container. and it's there by default. You can, what I was looking for real quick was there's a flag. Let's do run help, and then system, not that system, not that system, not that system, this one. Here, you can say systemd false, and it will turn off the systemd enablement. And basically, what's happening with systemd enablement or whatever is it's bind mounting some of the kind of runtime core Linux directories from the host into the container. So like I believe /run and maybe /temp. So that when systemd runs, it finds the things it expects to find when running on a host. But it is in what like container mode, which is a simpler version. But so
container mode.
Yeah, because container mode is cool. So what we can do now, though, is we can kind of, do, oh my goodness, I can't type. So let's see. I wonder if we can do UBI8. I don't know if this is going to work because I'm not sure what's available. But I'm going to take this onto its own line and say that.
Okay.
And then, but let's put more than one thing in here. And wait, is it MariaDB or MariaDB server?
Server.
Server, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it is too. Oops, forgot my I.
I can check real quick. Hang on. Oh my gosh, my terminal's closed. What did I do last night? What?
Did
I intentionally cleaned up after myself? What?
Can't be.
Wait.
All right, but one of the things I want to point out is we are not going to expose the MariaDB port. So we're gonna have to log into it to show that it's kind of running. But we're gonna enable both HTTPD and MariaDB just to kind of show that they're working. Oh, and then here's the last important part is that if you want systemd to kind of run this container or run the things in the container, you run init, kind of as if, you know, it was actually a host machine running and doing its thing. So that's what we're going to do. And
nice.
In theory, we should have both HTTPD and MariaDB. So let's see, how about podman build -t, and let's call it something brilliant like that. And oh, I don't actually have to do that.
Yeah, it's MariaDB server, and I just realized they have a MariaDB backup package. That's interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know what that does.
I don't either.
So why is it saying it? This may not work because I'm for some reason maybe it lost my subscription manager login. I'm not sure why it was saying up
what did
here
it say?
Unable to read consumer identity. That seems not good.
That's weird.
But it seems like it's installing. So because I'm pretty sure in the default UBI8 there are no databases, or at least there were not when I last looked.
So wait, the package manager excluded databases?
So UBI8 by default hits a set of public repositories.
Right.
Those public repositories include things like HTTPD and PHP and Python and a bunch of other things, but I don't believe that any of them there are any databases in those public repositories.
Really?
So you either need to get the database from a different place, or you need to have a subscription. Now, a subscription is, you know, as they like to say, no cost by getting a developer sub, or free if you want to use that word.
It's not free. You have to give up personal information.
Right.
Let's admit it, folks. Let's just go ahead and call it.
All right. Apparently, I think it's just MariaDB. I think I just made a dumb mistake. Let's just try it rather than building it.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh, enabling the service? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just Mariadb.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some caching.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it looks much better. Cool. Okay, so now let me just see what I left running. Let's get rid of this one. DA4. And if you notice, we actually exposed port 80, but I will, because of my previous screw up, I will use cat P. You
there?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I was just actually quiet for a second.
I was typing something and I like completely didn't realize I was on the air. It's like dead air. Wait, that's wrong. That's bad.
So externally, we can check if web server is running, but it looks like it is. So localhost : 45089. And that's exciting. And now let's look inside the container. Oops, forgot what it was already. This is why you should name your containers all the time, because then you don't have to go back and look for the ID every single time. All right, and now we're not going to have PS, are we? Nope. Let's just DNF. Let's say yum install. What is it? Proc PS?
Yes.
We should actually be able to loop back on the port too. I just don't know what we would use to do the loop back, because it's not like we have telnet or anything else inside the container.
Netcat.
In the container? I don't know. You think it's there? I bet it's not there. That's what that's more what I'm getting at.
Yeah, let's like that. It's in your tools container.
Oh, that's true. But that's because, yeah, not there. But that's because it wasn't there.
It's NC, not netcat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I knew
sorry.
that too. Still looks like no
not there.
joy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Figured. We put it in your tools container.
Yes.
So yeah.
But this is just a blank container that we were just screwing around with. But see, we do see it is in MySQL D, and obviously, if we're setting up a database for real, we should be pointing that at some sort of persistent volume so that it doesn't, just destroy all its data. Well, sometimes, right? I mean, this is a great way to do things with a caching server. It's in some ways almost better to not declare a volume, and then the caching server can just disappear, and that can be a way. One of the whatever it is, the three problems in computer science, right? One is off by one error, or one is caching servers and the question of when to clear your cache, and one is off by one errors. And that's the three problems.
What to name things.
Oh yeah, right. So the four problems in computer science, right?
Naming things.
Yeah. But I love the joke because the joke is recursive, right?
Yes, exactly.
So systemd in a container, really just out of the box. When I went and did some research on this, kind of, when I was looking around for it, I came across the Docker documentation for doing the same. And it seems that you still are writing custom init scripts essentially for any container you're running in Docker. So this is not something that will translate to Docker, unlike probably 95% of everything else we've done on this show. You have to go and manipulate your container to get systemd to run inside it, or as the kind of Docker documentation recommends, is that you run a custom service with custom init scripts to make these things run. Because obviously, or maybe not obviously, if we had done something like, if this was just an ending process, right? So like one way we could do this, right, is we could say, user in HTTPD, right? And then commonly we do, is it foreground, right?
Yeah.
And so this is a common way to run HTTPD. But obviously that wouldn't start Maria. Right. If this command up here would even work on this, probably won't work on some container bases, right? Because they won't have this command. Which, you know, the trade-off is you have a slightly bigger container for things where you're not using it, but it does have the advantage of you just get kind of systemd out of the box,
which can be good.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the big thing is I don't want to write my own init scripts. So you know, and so if I don't want it there, then I can you know, I can go find a container that doesn't have it. But a lot of the time inside a container, what I want to run is some sort of service that exists, and then I want to decorate it, right? I don't necessarily want to write my own service a lot of the time. Sometimes I do, but not a good chunk of the time. And in this Nextcloud scenario, not in this scenario, right? We want to run a web server, we want to run a database. So yes, no changes. And why don't we pause here for a second, because it's a good pausing point, and we can do some points.
Sweet internet.
Oh,
points.
although
I haven't looked at chat in a second. Hang on.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry.
I just realized I did not update the
did you not update the points?
Well, no, I updated the points.
Okay.
I think. Let me just check.
Oh boy.
Yep. Yeah, I did. I knew I calculated them. I was like, did I not update the slide? But what I forgot to do was actually put the new code in for this show. Make everyone sad. So let me just do that.
Why don't you knock that out real quick?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're curious what's coming up next on the channel, folks, while Langdon's doing that, at 11 a.m. Eastern, 1500 UTC, we have the OpenShift Administrator's Office Hour, which JP Date, I'm sure you'll tune in for and ask for your dashboard that you requested yesterday. It's not ready yet, but it is in the backlog, according to Ali's email. So, but I am curious if you're using Active Directory, if you could pull stats from that, JP. And we can talk about that in the OpenShift Admin Hour show if you want.
And when is that? Is that right after this?
Or that is an hour after this.
Hour after this. Okay.
Yeah.
I am done.
What is the backlog? The backlog is the pile of feature requests that need to get factored into a release. So custom requests, you know, will get prioritized over, you know, random engineer request kind of thing, unless it's like, you know, dependency related kind of deal. And yeah, like the backlog is for like agile development purposes, essentially where we keep things that like it needs to be worked on, but it's not being worked on at this very moment, right? That's the simplest way I can put the backlog in the agile term, but yeah, I think I did that right. How's points going?
It's done.
Okay,
I'm ready.
You.
Yep. Oh, but I forgot to copy it for the chat. Let me do that real quick. Did you put the Discord link in earlier?
I did not, but I can.
All right. We'll actually, why don't I, before I do that, I will put the show notes from last time link in the chat.
Let me, you're going to see this twice in Twitch, folks. Sorry. Because I need to drop this in the restream chat. Because it's big and all encompassing. Stop it.
All right. Now I'm ready.
Okay.
Backlog, avoid. Yes, you are not. It's kind of like a task list. You know, it's like sometimes you need to just clear the whole task list. And then
it depends on what company you're at.
That's true.
I have found like my first job working with like Agile and after the Air Force and everything, right? Like that backlog was stupid, right? Like that backlog is where stuff went to go die, right? Like that is Not the case with our backlog.
Right. Well, I mean, there is something to the like you do want to go refresh your backlog periodically and just look at the stuff that you're never going to get to because it just never got priority. Right. And in that sense, it can appear that some things fall into the void, but in fact, you at least made a conscious decision that said, nope, we're not doing that thing ever.
Yeah.
And then if somebody comes back and resuggests it, that's great because people can always resuggest things. Although it's nice to have a log of why you decided not to do it the last time.
Yes.
So points.
Context matters.
Noah Friction still on top with 1,300 points.
Oh.
Mariadb closely following with 1,200 points. Joe Fuzz with 800 points, still catching up. I'm thinking about expanding from the 3 to maybe a 5 or a 6.
I would
list.
I'd do the top 6 just because.
I thought about doing it this morning, and then there wasn't enough coffee to make my brain work well enough. So,
well, there's always that, and we'll give you, we'll cut you some slack.
Right. So, and I like to reiterate too, as well, just, the only thing we're going to use this data for is to do these point calculations. And as you can see from the names here, you can give us whatever public name you would like to use, and we will share that.
We'll happily use it. Yeah.
Right. Or just private as well. And then you can be a dark horse like Noah Friction was. And you can always go back and watch the old episodes and collect the points from those.
Yes. Cool. Sweet internet points achieved.
Exactly. Now with
check
comma.
That box.
Now with comma.
Yes.
Which was annoying me quite a lot. So let's see. All right. So should we go back to the Nextcloud?
Yeah. Can we get it running?
Well, I don't know if we can get it running, but we can at least get going.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna move.
Mariadb just popped in. Like timing is everything.
Yeah, really. That's pretty good. All right. And then
okay.
So I'm just trying to think what so the idea of this was a little bit about containerizing and moving Nextcloud into OpenShift. But the real goal is to say, okay, you have arbitrary application. How do you get it into a container? And then how do you decompose it into services so that it's easier to manage and maintain. But the first step we need to do is just get the whole thing in a container and kind of make sure we can get that part to work. And that will inform our future kind of work about knowing kind of the dependency structure and all that kind of other stuff. So we did a little bit of this the last time. And so I'll just try to grab that as a starting point. But now we can use the systemd stuff.
Cool.
Actually, let's just pull both of those over here. And we are going to say container file. All right, so we're going to say MariaDB and MariaDB server. We already have HTTPD and PHP.
Nice.
And then we had to jump from from the user that is default in this container image to root so that we can do the install. Then we are going to jump back as by way of recap. So I'm going to build that actually, let's do. Oops.
Friendly reminder, since we're 15 minutes out, we do have a hard stop today.
Oh, okay. All right. So for the sake of faster typing, I'm going to cut and paste. Let's do, I'm going to stick with like 9080 though for the port.
Cool.
So that we don't have to run this privileged. So actually, that's probably a good point real quick, is that we were able to curl this container because we did a -p, or capital P, and so we got an arbitrary ID, which is high enough that it's not a privileged privileged port. if we had run this with an actual 80, it would not have worked. Localhost might have come back, depending on how the security is set up, because you're doing a localhost call, but it definitely wouldn't have worked from remote without it being privileged. So, well, that didn't help.
What did you hit your paste button?
I hit the wrong copy paste buffer.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably could have done that quite a bit more efficiently.
Yeah, you could have.
What is going on?
What is going on?
I apparently can't copy and paste.
Narendra, you literally just missed the link. Like you joined right when Langdon dropped it, so I'll repaste it for you.
I don't know. I think maybe he has to go back and watch the beginning of this show.
Oh no!
And he clearly is causing my cutting and pasting errors.
Yes, of course.
I'm sure.
Like since he showed up, it's all his fault. Right.
Right. All right. So we do want to move. We just need to make sure that kind of the right privileges are happening. So we need that user default later. Oops. And I tend to put like kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I tend to try to group things in logical ways in container files. But so just for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to make this 9080 so that we can actually declare the port. So I don't have to keep jumping back or kind of keep looking at what the port that generated is. And I mean, we could just make it 80. Actually, we probably should just make it 80 now that I say that, because that way HTTPD will be running in the right place.
You hope.
And actually, I don't even know if we want to do an expose. I think we'll inherit it from the base image. So we'll do a minus cat P first to see what it's running on, because I don't remember from last time. So let's do podman. Oh boy. Podman build T, let's call it, I think I called it big Nextcloud.
As opposed to small Nextcloud.
Well, that's what we'll be making in the future. Right now, we're making the big one.
The big one.
Exactly. All right, so we got some symlinks. That's good. And hopefully our base image is not going to bork the systemd usage. This is, as I think a lot of people kind of gloss over, you are heavily reliant on how your base image is set up when you're doing this.
Yeah.
So now for the sake of checking it out, we can let's just do D and then P and then RM. Big Nextcloud. That should just work, right?
Maybe.
Well, it's running.
There you go.
All right, but let's take a look at the logs for. Oh, I forgot to give it a name.
That's why. That's why I said maybe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we have no logs, which also is reassuring.
Well, it's only been up for 3 seconds.
Yeah, but that's a long time on computers. Yeah.
Bad.
Oh, no, I did SBN in it. All right, so let's see what is happening. So let's try just curling it, see if it works.
Is anything active? Yeah. Port
37. Nope.
No.
37401.
There you go. All right, connection reset by peer. Fine.
But we determined that was because the port mapping was foobar.
Right. So try.
Why? But we did a capital P, so it should have just figured out the port, and it got 8080 and 8443.
I still think you need to try the secure port.
Oh, you think?
I know it'll be reset by peer, but I still want you to try it to confirm
368.
And you do have a name. Relaxed Austin, by the way.
Sorry?
You have a name. It's called Relaxed Austin.
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah, I forget that it's generated. 416 is a lot shorter, though.
True.
All right, so let's try.
So
let's try going to the
pod?
container.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah. Sec IT. Now, problem is we're not going to have P. Oh, we do have PS.
Yeah, PS comes with UBI.
So it looks like it didn't actually enable it.
No.
But we saw the symlinks
well,
go
it's
by.
enabled but not running. Did you start it?
Well, I did S1E12, and if we didn't enable, it should have.
Should have, but I don't see that it actually did.
I wonder if we messed it up by enabling HTTPD. Let's try taking HTTPD off that. So it is HTTPD running in that container, right? That's what we determined last time.
Should be the daemon, yeah.
Unless it's like whatever that PHP runtime server is, FGPM, FPGM. Yeah, there's a. So let's just try not enabling HTTPD and instead just enabling Maria. But we changed the startup, so it could be. I wonder if we're failing because this PHP container is expecting to run a script, because as I recall, it was when we were doing it last time. So, and we're replacing it with S1E12, and it's using basically two different ways. Oh yeah, we're all about the live demos.
Yeah,
everything's a live demo. That's why nothing works.
Right, like some no talent hacks that are actually very talented, not knowing how to make containers work, and their paste buffers are
still fun. But I want to make sure Mariadb gets the code.
He's got it.
That's my excuse.
Right.
Let's.
So yeah, if you run this container,
then
what is in here and what is it doing?
From
like,
last
that's
time,
what I want to know.
Almost certain it's that because it's running a custom script like we were talking about.
No such container. So it ran it and shut it down? What?
Oh, and I had RM, so I'm not even going to get a log off of it.
Oh.
There we go. Let's try that.
Okay.
PS. Nope.
Podman PS.
Podman PS. Nope.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, so it already killed Podman
Exited.
logs B9A.
Oh. This is an S2I base image.
Right. So
this isn't going to work.
Yeah, not for what we want to do.
Okay.
So let's see.
We got to find a better base
search.
Image.
Yeah. And failing that, we can just build one.
You know what? I am so glad we spent the past 2 weeks using this container.
Everybody loves containers. So what one were we using? UBI 8 PHP-73. Okay, so just by way of a little bit of background, S2I is source to image is what it's short for. And basically it dates back quite a while now, but basically the idea is like if you're building something from say GitHub or some other like kind of remote web repository or whatever, it gives you a base image and then lets you stack content into it, and then S2I, that code will kind of do the manipulation to make it launch.
Right. Like the S2I part makes it all good. Yeah.
Right. And we'll probably get there, just not for this point in where we are. So I bet all of these are S2I images, would be my guess. I'm just trying to see if there's something I think might not be.
No, there is one. It might not have PHP, but it definitely has HTTP.
Oh yeah, probably.
Right. We're gonna have to install PHP 7, but other than that, that's it.
Right.
Which probably is gonna be, non-trivial, but isn't that hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
what am I looking for UBI containers. Where's that?
So
link?
I'm just
There
gonna
we go.
do
Container catalog.
this. I just
So
can't remember if it's like dash or what.
For folks playing at home, if you want to go see all the containers that Red Hat has ready for you to go, just follow this link to the container catalog, and it will
Like that one.
be, oh, it's a 404 page. Never mind. That should
Oh.
have actually worked. Whoops. I did the wrong thing. Containers.
Yeah, I just put it in.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
And then let's just see.
HTTPD for sure.
Just want to see if I can find that like PHP meta package, which probably will just do PHP. I think that'll probably work.
Yeah.
And then we'll put that in there. We'll put our HTTPD back here. And let's just see if that works.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Which one are you using?
Apache. Or what do you mean?
Okay, so you're using UBI8.
Oh, now, yeah.
Okay.
I just switched to UBI8 and took off the PHP.
So I was just saying, like the RHSCL, the software catalog, like even the HTTPD container is source to image. So
yeah, I think almost all of them are. And maybe by next time I will, because there's a way that you can use it just fine without using S2I. I just can't remember how you flip it off.
Right. And then there's also like Apache does have its own containers, right? We could always use those too. Right. Like, yeah. But yeah, as you can see, if this were all prepackaged for us, we would save a lot of time. So in our own environment, it might make sense to like stand up a temporary registry where this higher level pod lives, so that we can pull it for future reference kind of deal.
Well, a big part of it for me too is I would much rather trust the Red Hat PHP HTTPD maintainers for how to configure and set up PHP and HTTPD than me. And that's the biggest thing that I want to buy from the container registry, right? Like, I know I don't know what I'm doing. And so as a result, I want to, I'd much rather do it that way. So obviously this will ultimately not actually work because we haven't actually put the Nextcloud code in there anywhere, but we can at least make sure that HTTPD and Mariadb are there, maybe even in the 2 minutes before our hard stop.
Oh, smoke.
So let's do run.
You have 56 seconds.
Fast. Not the codes. Let's get rid of this RM just in case it fails. Oh, stupid.
So
I think it's going to be a big
JP Data. I trust the Quay.io images more than the Docker Hub ones. But like, I trust other people's code as much as I trust anybody else's code, right? Like, there is some validation that happens, like on Docker Hub, to say like this is some company stuff versus some person's stuff kind of thing. So yeah, same thing with Quay, I think.
Yes. Oh, we'll even use S for you. Let's do.
Because JP asked you that question too. Do you trust Quay versus?
I basically don't trust any containers I get from the internet unless they are coming from a company that I, generally speaking, that I pay money to or pay. So like the developer sub, so I am paying them whether there's literal money or not, right? Can you do 2 exposes on one line? I can't remember. I don't know. Forgot to expose the actual ports.
Well, just don't expose yourself and we'll be fine.
Exactly. always a good rule.
Yeah, always a good rule on Zoom.
On everything. There's been a raft of that lately.
Yeah, it's just privilege at its finest.
Exactly. All right, so curl HTTP localhost. I was like, what's the server? But we're gonna do the S to make Chris happy.
Like the S.
46223.
Oh.
And
Try it without the S.
yeah, that seems like it should work, but
that's not encouraging.
But I am doing it a little fast, so maybe I just skipped a step.
You might have forgot something.
Yeah,
not
so
found. Oh, you need a path.
Oh no, it's because I put in the conf file and there's no code at the server.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it's doing exactly the right thing. It's because basically we have the HTTP conf here,
right?
That's saying go look over here for files, and then we don't have any files there.
Yeah.
So which we will do next time.
Next time. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Yeah. The next level up hour next week, the same bat time, same bat channel. We'll actually get the conf configured and maybe actually have a Nextcloud instance running next time. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And then we will have our big iron one, and we will then decompose it into something actually more sane.
More sane as in Kubernetes?
Microservices, or
I like this.
Multiple services that then we can deploy in a pod, and then we can use that pod and deploy it to OpenShift. Nice. And then we can have persistent volumes, and we can have scaling and all those other things it's nice to have inside of infrastructure, or like an orchestration engine.
It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. As Narendra says, Nextcloud next time.
Exactly. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Langdon, for teaching us all the fun things containers. I've learned something today. So yes, check that box. And we will see you here in about an hour. So stay tuned and stick around. Bye, y'all.